How is it going, Data Devices? No Data here. Welcome back to yet another Roblox Assassin video. And today on Roblox Assassin, we're going to talk about luck. Good old luck. This is considered a key factor to making profit in Roblox Assassin. Basically, you open a case and you have a random chance of getting what is in the case, and certain good items you have a lower chance. You have to get really lucky to unbox them. And, you know, if you unbox them, you basically, get it for free. You don't have to trade or anything, so it's pretty good. And some of us are just lucky, and some of us are just very unlucky. Like, seriously, I know a couple people in this game who are actually really lucky when it comes to opening cases. Like, they get a bunch of legendaries and the standards, and they open, a case 6 and get a pharaoh, and it's like, wow, that is pretty lucky. And it is always pretty interesting when somebody walks up to me and, looks at my inventory and says, wow, no data. You have a lot of knives. You're very lucky. It's really interesting when people say that I'm lucky, because I kind of have to disagree with that. In some ways, yes, I'm lucky, but at the same time, I'm not very lucky, because luck is actually my biggest weakness on Roblox Assassin. I've said this before, but if I had one weakness in Roblox Assassin, it would be luck, alright? I am a very unlucky person. Now, that being said, even though I am not lucky at all, I do still know how to increase your chances and how to basically work around luck. A lot of people think that you have to be lucky to make profit. No, that is definitely not true. But yeah, I guess we'll just jump straight into it. Now, a lot of people ask, no data, how do you get lucky in the cases? Now, again, just because I have bad luck doesn't mean I really don't know how. So when it comes to getting lucky in the cases, I really only have one piece of advice to give you. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an example that my favorite YouTuber once said in a YouTube video. Except he used real money, but, you know, I'm just going to use assassin knives as this example. Okay, so hypothetically speaking, let's say you have a friend, right? You have a friend, and the two of you play Roblox Assassin together. You know, you both play on your own time, or sometimes you play together. You know, you have a friend who happens to play Roblox Assassin, just like you do. So, you know, one day, you wake up, you get ready, and you go to school. For this example, we'll use school. So, you go to school, and your friend walks up to you, and he's like, oh my god, dude, you'll never believe what happened last night. I unboxed a wind elemental from the elite case, and he's super happy, and, you know, he's telling you this, and he's super excited, because he got a wind elemental from the elite case. It's freaking amazing. So, naturally, you know, in your head, you're thinking, wow, this guy is a lucky duck. Wow, this guy's a lucky duck. I can't unbox a wind elemental. He's really, really lucky. But what if I told you, right? What if you didn't know that this same friend worked very, very hard to unbox that wind elemental? Let's say, you know, every day he goes home and he plays Roblox Assassin or something for X amount of time, and he gets a bunch of tokens, and, you know, let's say he opens an elite case every day or every other day, or even once a week. What if he, you know, just played for a very long time and opened one elite case every week? He just kept going and just never stopped. And this is their 200th elite case, and then they finally unboxed a wind elemental. So yeah, they got lucky, but you know, it makes sense, right? A bunch of elite cases, you're eventually going to get a wind elemental. So, you know, guys, luck stinks, but what's great about luck, what is beautiful about luck is the more you persist against luck, eventually it's going to give in. So yeah, guys, if you're just unlucky, you gotta keep trying. You gotta keep getting those cases, and you know, you gotta keep going for it. Whether you spend money or you actually play the game to get tokens and open some cases, you gotta keep unboxing. Eventually luck will give in, and you will get the mythic or the limited exotic or any knife that you want. Frigid, if you want frigid. That's a lot easier to unbox, but you know, if that's what you want, then go for it. So when I was playing Assassin for a very long time, I used to unbox one elite case every day. Some of you have probably heard this before, but I used to unbox one elite case every day. Not really because of the luck factor, but I felt it was very systematic. Think about it. If you open one elite case every day, you're gonna get one exotic, at least one exotic every week, and that's the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is every 6 days you get an exotic. Usually, in between those, you'll just unbox an exotic of your own, and eventually, you will get lucky, and you will get a mythic, which is pretty good, just because you decided to do one elite case every day. Now, that's quite a bit, especially if you don't have VIP, but that's what I used to do. I don't do it anymore because, you know, I'm busy with YouTube and stuff, but that is what I used to do to make profit. And obviously, I did some trades in between, which I'm going to get into in a little bit, but I get it. You know, it's very hard to get the knife you want from something that's completely random, especially when the odds are completely against you. But, you know, it's very good to not really rely on luck. Again, I have very bad luck, and I'm like still have a bunch of stuff in Assassin, so you know, you can make profit without being lucky. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be lucky to make profit. You know, it's a bit of a nuisance, really. It's kind of difficult, especially to get started. It's pretty difficult to get started, but as you make profit, it gets a lot easier to get the knife you want. You know, if you guys want to get a lot of knives, personally, I try to never rely on luck. You know, in most cases, I try to never rely on luck. Obviously, I do unboxings for updates just because I feel like doing unboxings during those times, especially during, like, events and stuff. But I try to refrain from relying on luck because I don't have good luck. And just in general, it's not a good idea. It's pretty much gambling. So a good tip that I have for you guys that, you know, if you want a specific knife, you really have to make trades for it. Like, alright, a good example is, let's say you have, like, an Ice Lord, alright? You want Ice Lord, you don't have it, but you want Ice Lord, you want to unbox it, so you're opening the elite cases, and you're getting legendaries, right? You're having bad luck, so, you know, eventually, you get 6 legendaries. So what I would do in that situation is just craft an exotic, and trade that exotic for an Ice Lord. What if you get a Proton? That's probably what you're asking right now. What if you get a Proton? Well, somebody might take a Proton for an Ice Lord. You don't know. If you server jump, you might find somebody eventually. Or what you could do is you could take that Proton and kind of trade up to get tier 1 exotics higher in demand. So, like, you could trade Proton for Gilded, and then maybe trade Gilded for, like, I don't know, Crescendo or something, and a Dark Blade, and then trade it for Pharaoh. And then once you have Pharaoh, you know, Pharaoh's pretty high in demand, so once you have Pharaoh, you're pretty much certain to get it for an Ice Lord, that's for sure. And that's just a good way of working around bad luck. Like, okay, you open some elite cases, you know, you try to get that Ice Lord, you couldn't get it, so you took what you had and you took advantage of it, and you know, you eventually got that Ice Lord through your own actions. And going back to what I said earlier in the video, like, I find it weird when people say that I'm lucky because I have those knives. Like, yes, I've had my lucky moments, but I have my inventory because, you know, I traded, alright? I was very smart with what I did. If I was unlucky, I took advantage of it and used what I had, and that's how I got a bunch of knives, you know? I wasn't really lucky. Most of the stuff I never unboxed. I've only unboxed one Spider. I've never unboxed a Wind Elemental. I've never unboxed Lord Sinister. Never unboxed Holiday Blade. Never unboxed a Fairy, and never unboxed a Pharaoh. And I never unboxed Fairy Axe or, like, a Claymore, but I kind of blame myself for that because the Easter basket's like 5% chance. I feel like you could get that eventually if I open more. I just don't have the time to do so. But I'm kind of rambling on. The point is, even without luck, if you're just smart with your trades and work around the luck, you can get what you want, even if you're not very lucky. And it pains me when, like, I see people get an exotic, but it's not the knife they want, so they, like, disassemble it. Like, I don't know if you're going for a Mythic or a different exotic, but, like, that is the worst thing you could possibly do. First of all, you don't even have enough tokens for an elite case, so you still have to work to get 1,000 anyway, like a whole third. You know, if you just do that 3 times, you can open it yourself. I know it's a lot, but, like, geez. Honestly, I feel like disassembling a knife isn't meant to get you another knife. I feel like when you disassemble an exotic, it's really meant to get you something like an effect or a radio. I feel like it's not meant for opening another case to get a different knife. And I know there are a lot of success stories out there, like a couple every now and then, where like they disassemble the proton and they got a spider or a wind elemental. That is a very rare occurrence, guys. All right, you really don't want to gamble with that because you'll end up losing all of your exotics. You know, I do disassemble a couple of exotics during unboxings, but that's just to entertain you guys and to like make the unboxing video itself. If I didn't do YouTube, I definitely would not disassemble those exotics. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video because there's really not much to say about luck. I guess the only tip I have for you is, I don't know, find a lucky charm, maybe. No, not the cereal, but like find a lucky number or something that makes you lucky, because maybe that will help you. For example, I remember when Spring Saber first came out. This is actually a bit of a story. When Spring Saber first came out for the 2017 Easter event, now it's the 2018 Easter event, but I remember I saved up for the Elite case, and like I was almost there, and then I took a bit of a break. And then I got the remainder of the tokens, opened an Elite case, got Spring Saber on the first try. Literally first Elite case after the event came out, I got a Spring Saber. So usually I try to follow that. Usually I try to take a long break, or not a long break, but like maybe a couple of hours break just before opening an Elite case and see if that gets me lucky. You know, it really has been working recently, but that's just an example. If you find something that makes you a little bit luckier, then maybe follow that. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope this video helped you guys out. I know this video is not going to make somebody like super lucky, but I hope, especially the part where like you can work around luck, I hope that helped for you guys. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all those other things that YouTube people do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Toodles.